Good morning, ma. In today's class, we will see how we can solve the problems in chapter 1, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Let us start with 1.1. I am going to teach for you exercise problems, ma. First one, 1.1. See the question first. Calculate the molar mass of the following: H2O, CO2, CH4. They give three molecules. For these three, we have to find molar mass. Molar mass is nothing but gram molecular weight. Molar mass is nothing but gram molecular weight, ma. Let us see how to calculate the gram molecular weight. All of you already know that one. Molar mass of H2O is equal to, how many hydrogens are there? 2 hydrogens. 2 into gram atomic weight of hydrogen is 1 gram. 1 plus how many oxygens are there? 1 oxygen. 1 into gram atomic weight of oxygen is 16. 16. Totally 2 plus 16, 18 grams. Molar mass of H2O, 18 grams. This is first one, small one. Small 2, they give CO2. Molar mass of CO2 is equal to, how many particles of carbon are there? How many atoms of carbon? 1. 1 into 12. Gram atomic weight of carbon is 12. Plus 2 into gram atomic weight of oxygen is 16. 12 plus 2 16s are 32. 12 plus 32, 44 grams. Molar mass of CO2 is 44 grams. Next, small 3. They asked CH4. Coming to CH4, molar mass is equal to, how many carbons are there? 1. 1 into 12 grams. Plus gram atomic weight of carbon is 12. Plus 4 hydrogens 4 are there. 4 into gram atomic weight of hydrogen is 1 is equal to 12 plus 4 is equal to 16 grams. This is the gram molecular weight or molar mass of CH4. Okay, ma? This is the solution for 1.1. Next, we will see the problem 1.2. First, read the problem. Calculate the mass percentage of different elements present in sodium sulfate. Calculate the mass percentage of different elements present in sodium sulfate. Formula also they give Na2SO4. Okay, let us see how to do the problem now. Na2SO4. First, find the gram molecular weight of Na2SO4. Gram molecular weight of Na2SO4 is equal to, how many sodium atoms are there? 2. 2 into gram atomic weight of sodium is 23 grams. Plus how many sulfur atoms are there? 1. 1 into sulfur, 32 grams. Plus how many oxygen atoms are there? 4. 4 into oxygen gram atomic weight is 16 is equal to 2 into 23, 46 plus 32 plus 64 . 142 grams is the gram molecular weight of Na2SO4. Once check that one, 46, 32, 64. grams. Okay, now this is the gram molecular weight of Na2SO4. We need to find percentage of sodium, percentage of sulfur, percentage of oxygen. All the elements percentage we have to find. What is the meaning of percentage? Amount of sodium. Here Na2SO4 present in 100 grams of Na2SO4. Amount of sodium present in 100 grams of Na2SO4. For example, let us consider this Na2SO4 only. How much amount of, I am taking the first explanation, percentage of sodium in Na2SO4 is equal to, percentage of sodium in Na2SO4 is equal to, in Na2SO4 how much amount of sodium is present? 2 into 23, 46 grams. 46 grams of sodium is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. 46 grams of sodium is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. Then how much amount of sodium is present in 100 grams of sodium? This is called sodium percentage. Question mark is here. These two must be multiplied. 46 into 100 divided by 142. 46 into 100 divided by 142. We are getting 32.39%. This is the percentage of sodium in Na2SO4. How to calculate that one? Amount of sodium present in 100 grams of Na2SO4. Amount of sodium present in 100 grams of Na2SO4. That one can be found from gram molecular weight. In 142 grams of sodium, 46 grams of sodium is present. Then how much amount of sodium is present in 100 grams of Na2SO4? That is 32.39 grams. That is nothing but percentage. 32.39%. Okay. Next we will see what about sulfur. Percentage of sulfur in Na2SO4 is equal to, implies how much amount of sulfur is present? 32 grams of sulfur is present in 142 grams. 32 grams of sulfur is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. 32 grams of sulfur is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. Then how much amount of sulfur is present in 100 grams of Na2SO4? In 100 grams of Na2SO4, how much amount of sulfur is present? This is the question mark here. Then our problem answer is these two must be multiplied and this one must be divided. 32 into 100 divided by 142. 22.53 grams. That is nothing but 22.53%. This is about percentage of sulfur. This is about percentage of sodium. Now our final thing is percentage of oxygen. We have to find percentage of oxygen in Na2SO4. Implies how much amount of oxygen is present in 142 grams? 64 grams. 64 grams of oxygen is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. 64 grams of oxygen is present in 142 grams of Na2SO4. Then how much amount of oxygen is present in 100 grams of Na2SO4? Question mark is here. These two must be cross multiplied, divided by 142. 64 into 100 divided by 142. 6400 divided by 142. That is 45.07 percentage. This is the percentage of oxygen in Na2SO4. This is the percentage of sulfur in Na2SO4. (64 into 100 divided by 142 is equal to 45.07 percentage. This is the percentage of oxygen in Na2SO4. This is the percentage of sulfur in Na2SO4. This is the percentage of sodium in Na2SO4. For your information, I am telling ma, if you add these three percentages, definitely we will get 100 percentage. 32.39 plus 22.53, 45.07, 739, 9918, 5389, 932549. See, 99.98. Actually that is missed because 0.02 is missed because here after 45.07 one or two digits are there. After 22.53 also some digits are there. If you add exactly the total points after point also by considering up to 4 values, then you will be getting 100%. See, if you add all the percentages of elements in a compound, you will get 100%. Because we have done for percentage only, na? That's why we need to check that one. This is about 1.2. In this way we have to do the problem of percentage. Okay, in gram molecular weight of that substance, what is the amount of sodium present? In 142 grams, sodium is 46 grams, sulfur is 32 grams, oxygen is 64 grams. Then out of 100 grams of Na2SO4, how much amount of sodium, how much amount of sulfur, and how much amount of oxygen? In that way we calculated the percentage one. This is about 1.2. I think you understood the concept, the problem. Now we will go for 1.3. Before that, let us see what is the question. Determine the empirical formula of an oxide of iron which has 69.9% iron and 30.1% dioxin by mass. So we need to calculate the empirical formula of oxide of iron which has 69.9% of iron and 30.1% of oxygen by mass. They gave the percentages of masses of iron and oxygen. We need to calculate the empirical formula. How to calculate the empirical formula? We have one procedure. By following that procedure, easily we can do this problem. Let us see how we are going to do the problem. Write the symbols of elements they gave. Iron and oxygen. Iron percentage they gave 69.9% and oxygen percentage they gave 30.1%. After writing these percentages, this is first step. Next step is we need to divide those percentages by their gram atomic weights. To find the empirical formula, after writing the percentages under those elements symbols, we need to divide those percentages by its gram atomic weights. Suppose 69.9% is the gram atomic weight of 69.9% of iron is present, correct? That 69.9% of iron must be divided with gram atomic weight of iron. Same way, what is the percentage of oxygen they give? 30.1%. That 30.1% of oxygen must be divided with gram atomic weight of oxygen. What is the gram atomic weight of iron? That is 56 grams ma. So I divided that 69.9 with 56. Next, what is the gram atomic weight of oxygen? 16. 30.1 divided by 16. We need to get this value. 69.9 divided by 56, 1.248. 30.1 divided by 16, that is 1.881. So we got two values. This one 1.248 and this one 1.881. Out of these two values, which one is smaller value? 1.248. Okay, let us divide the two values with that smaller value 1.248. That means 1.248 divided by 1.248, 1.881 divided by 1.248. Both the values must be divided with same value only. Both the values must be divided with same value only. Once again I am telling, after division of percentages with gram atomic weights, we will get value for each element. That values observe carefully. In that, what is the small value? 1.248 and 1.881. In that, what is the small value? Okay, whole numbers, what are the digits we have, what are the numbers we have, those values must be divided with that small value. That is 1.248 divided by 1.248, 1.881 divided by 1.248. 1.248 divided by 1.248 is 1. Now we have to see the value of 1.881 divided by 1.248. That is 1.507. Approximately we can take it as 1.5. So this value is equal to 1. This value is equal to approximately 1.5. Okay, after getting these values, what we have to do? Here 1.5 is there and here 1 is there. Like these points we should not consider like these points ma. That's why by selecting one suitable number, we have to multiply these two values. Then those two values must be converted to nearby whole numbers. For example, 1.5, if it is multiplied with 2, you will get 3. 1 is multiplied with 2, you will get 2. Is it correct? 2 and 3, those are normal without fractional values. Without decimals, we are getting the whole numbers, correct or not? So I am going to multiply these two values with 2 ma. I am going to multiply these two values with 2. Then 2 into 1, 2. Here 1.5 into 2, that is 3. Finally, we got 2 and 3 whole numbers for iron and oxygen. For iron and oxygen, we got 2 and 3. This is the formula that is called empirical formula. So, empirical formula is equal to Fe2O3. 2 iron, 3 oxygen. Two iron, 3 oxygen. I hope you are clear, ma. This is the method you have to do when they ask about empirical formula. First, percentage must be divided with gram atomic weight. Next, you will get values. In that one small value we have to select, and all the values must be divided with that small value only. Then you will get here itself 1, 2 like that. If you get, no need to multiply this value. But here we got 1 and 1.5 na. So if I multiply with 2, both of them will be converted to whole numbers, nearby integers. So we are getting empirical formula is equal to Fe2O3. Now we will go for 1.4. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide. Let us see the question, ma'am. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide that could be produced when 1 mole of carbon is burnt in air. So here 3 sub-questions are there. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide that could be produced when 1 mole of carbon is burnt in air. 1 mole of carbon is burnt in 16 grams of dioxin. 2 moles of carbon are burnt in 16 grams of dioxin. Okay, we need to solve all the 3 more. Now first one, 1.1, 1.4, sub question 1. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide that could be produced when 1 mole of carbon is burnt in air. 1 mole of carbon reacts with oxygen, gives rise to CO2. Burnt in air means air is containing so much amount of oxygen. Is it correct? So, amount of oxygen is not at all limited. So much amount of oxygen is there. Carbon is only, they gave 1 mole. We need to find the amount of carbon dioxide. Then 1 mole of carbon, gram atomic weight is 12 grams. 1 mole of carbon is nothing but it is atomic weight, gram atomic weight. Gram atomic weight 12 grams of carbon. It is balanced equation only. 1 carbon reacts with O2 to form CO2. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to CO2. It is balanced equation only. Then O2, gram molecular weight of O2 is 32 grams. 12 grams of carbon reacts with 32 grams of oxygen to form 44 grams of CO2. So first one answer is 44 grams of CO2 is produced when 1 mole of carbon is burnt in air, because there is unlimited air is there. So complete carbon will undergo combustion to form 44 grams of carbon dioxide. Next, second one. They asked that if 1 mole of carbon is burnt in 16 grams of dioxin, 1 mole of carbon is burnt in 16 grams of dioxin. Same equation, C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. This time they didn't burn the carbon in air. They have limited the amount of oxygen. So they have taken in one container and they are going to limit the amount of oxygen. 1 mole carbon reacts with 16 grams of dioxin. This is the information they gave. According to the given equation, carbon 12 grams react with 32 grams of oxygen. How much amount of carbon will react with 32 grams of oxygen? 12 grams of carbon according to the given equation, not given data. See, I am following the equation. After that I will take the data. 12 grams of carbon react with 32 grams of oxygen. Is it okay? According to the equation, balanced equation, 12 grams of carbon reacts with 32 grams of oxygen. But the given amount of oxygen is not 32 grams, it is 16 grams. Then 16 grams of O2 reacts with how much amount of carbon? 16 grams of O2 reacts with how much amount of carbon? Question mark is here. These two must be cross multiplied. 12 into 16 divided by 32. 16 to 32. 2 6 are. So 16 grams of oxygen is going to react with 6 grams of carbon. 6 grams of carbon reacts with 16 grams of O2. 6 grams of carbon plus 16 grams of O2, total how much more? According to law of conservation of mass, 22 grams of carbon dioxide. Grams of carbon dioxide is produced. Once again, 1 mole of carbon is burnt with 16 grams of oxygen. What will be happened? How much amount of carbon dioxide is produced? 22 grams of carbon dioxide is produced, but the given amount of carbon is 12 grams. Is it correct? Then remaining 6 grams of carbon is unreacted. Out of 12 grams of carbon, 6 grams of carbon reacts with 16 grams of oxygen to form 22 grams of carbon dioxide, and remaining 6 grams is there out of 12 grams. The given amount is 1 mole, so it is 12 grams. Oxygen given amount is 16 grams only. Out of this 12 grams, 6 grams of carbon will react with 16 grams of oxygen only, according to their molar ratio. We explained in the problems, we explained at the time of theory also. Out of 12 grams, even though how much amount of carbon is given, if you limit the oxygen to 16 grams, in that only 6 grams of carbon will react. Remaining carbon, how much amount it is there, it will be remained as unreacted. So how much amount of carbon is unreacted? 6 grams of carbon is remained as unreacted. 6 grams of carbon reacts with 16 grams of oxygen to form 22 grams of carbon dioxide. Finally, in the vessel we have 22 grams of carbon dioxide after completion of the reaction. 22 grams of carbon dioxide and 6 grams of carbon, which is unreacted. Is it clear now? This is about 1.4 second one. Here, carbon is excess reagent, oxygen is limiting reagent, because it is stopping the reaction up to 6 grams of carbon only, because oxygen amount is not there. If total 32 grams is there, then only complete carbon will undergo reaction. Correct or not? But they supplied only 16 grams of oxygen. That's why according to that ratio, carbon also will undergo reaction. This is second one. Next we will go for third one. I hope you are clear. Third one is 2 moles of carbon are burnt in 16 grams of oxygen. They supplied 2 moles of carbon, but they gave 16 grams of oxygen only, like previous one only. How much amount of carbon if you give? But if they give carbon, oxygen amount is 16 grams only, carbon will react 6 grams only. Remaining amount is unreacted, already I told. So 2 moles means 24 grams. 2 moles of carbon is equal to 24 grams of carbon. According to this equation, C plus O2 gives rise to CO2 12 grams of carbon should react with 32 grams of oxygen. Okay, but the given amount of oxygen is 16 grams only. 16 grams of oxygen reacts with how much amount of carbon? Already we found that one, that is 6 grams of carbon reacts with 16 grams of oxygen to form 6 plus 16, 22 grams of carbon dioxide. So how many moles of carbon is given? That is not the matter. Oxygen is given only 16 grams. That's why again how much amount of carbon dioxide is formed? 22 grams of carbon dioxide only it is formed. Then what about remaining amount of carbon? Out of 24 grams only 6 grams of carbon is reacted. Then remaining 18 grams of carbon is unreacted. Out of 24 grams of carbon, 6 grams of carbon reacts with 16 grams of oxygen to form 22 grams of carbon dioxide. So we are remained with 18 grams of carbon which is unreacted in the vessel. Okay. So according to carbon and oxygen ratio, exactly if they give, then complete reaction will be taken place. Observe the first one. They gave 12 grams of carbon and 32 grams of oxygen. They did not mention 32 grams of oxygen in first one, but they told that air. 1 mole of carbon reacts with air, meaning air contains so much amount of oxygen. In that, this carbon will react with only 32 grams of oxygen to form 44 grams of carbon dioxide. That is the answer for first one. Second one, 22 grams of carbon dioxide. Even third one is also 22 grams of carbon dioxide, because in second and third they supplied only 16 grams of oxygen only. Is it clear, ma? This is about 1.4. Next we will go with 1.5. 1.5 question is, calculate the mass of sodium acetate. Sodium acetate formula CH3COONA required to make 500 ml of 0.375 molar aqueous solution. Molar mass of sodium acetate is 82.0245 gram per mole. Gram molecular weight of sodium acetate they gave. Okay, they gave molarity also. Even volume is also given in milliliters. We need to find the mass of sodium acetate. The formula which is useful. Before going to the formula, given data I am going to write. Given mass of CH3COONA is equal to question mark. So let it be X. We have to find X value. That is unknown. That one only we have to find. Next, volume of solution is equal to (500 ml). Molarity of solution is equal to 0.375 molar. Molar mass of acetate, gram molecular weight of acetate, sodium acetate, 82.0245 grams per mole. Okay, we need to find mass of CH3COONA. The formula related to this given data is molarity M is equal to given weight or mass of CH3COONA divided by gram molecular weight of CH3COONA into 1000 by volume in milliliters. Because they gave volume of solution in milliliters, that's why we need to consider 1000 by volume in milliliters. What is the molarity they gave? 0.375 is equal to, given weight we don't know, let it be X, already we have taken. This is the given data. Mass of CH3CONA is equal to question mark, that is X. Volume of solution is equal to 500 ml. Molarity is equal to 0.375 molar. Gram molecular weight of sodium acetate is equal to 82.025 grams. And the formula related to the above given data is this one. Then molarity 0.375 is equal to X divided by gram molecular weight is 82.0245 into 1000 divided by volume of solution is 500. 500 2's 1000. This implies X is equal to, this denominator will go that side, it will form numerator 0.375 into 82.0245 divided by this 2, if it is in numerator that side it will go to form denominator, is equal to this value. I will check that one more, just 1 second. .375 into 82.0245 is equal to 30.759. This value is 30.759 divided by 2. 15.37. 15.37 grams. So this much amount of sodium acetate must be taken to form this type of given data. So X, given mass of, that is mass of CH3COONA is equal to 15.37 grams. This is the answer. You can check that one more. And the given data is mass of CH3CONA we don't know, that one only we have to find. Volume of solution they gave, molarity they gave, gram molecular weight of CH3CONA also they gave. The formula, substitute in the formula, simply we will get the answer. Okay, this is about 1.5. Next, 1.6. Calculate the concentration of nitric acid in moles per liter, that means molarity, in a sample which has a density 1.41 gram per milliliter and the mass percentage of nitric acid in it being 69% they give. Okay, the formula related to this first I have to derive. After that I will get the molarity. First we have to find, what we have to find, observe carefully. 1.6. Calculate the concentration of nitric acid they give. Concentration of nitric acid in moles per liter, that is related to molarity only. So we need to find molarity. Is it okay? Let us see how we are going to do that one. Before that, molarity M is equal to, we know the formula, given weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by volume of solution in milliliters. Already this formula we have. Now what I am going to do? I am going to multiply and divide by weight of solution because I want to get this relation with density. For getting the relation with density, mass of solution must be there because this is volume of solution. For that I took weight of solution and divided by weight of solution. This value will not affect the total value because this is going to be cancelled on anyways. For the derivation only I multiplied and divided. Okay. Now capital M is equal to given weight of solute, this is W. This weight of solution I am writing in denominator into 1000 I am writing it as 100. 1000 I can write it as 100 into 10. So I am writing here 100. This is one part into numerator weight of solution is there na, that weight of solution in denominator volume of solution, I am writing like this, weight of solution by volume of solution into, out of this 1000 I wrote it as 100, then here 10 I am writing, 100 into 10, 1000 only na, 10 100, that is 1000, 10 by, what is the remaining one in denominator, gram molecular weight of solute. This is equal to molarity, implies molarity is equal to weight of solute by weight of solution into 100 is written as W percentage. That means weight percentage into weight of solution by volume of solution is nothing but density of solution into 10, already it is there, whole divided by gram molecular weight of solute. So our formula related to our problem 1.6 is molarity is equal to weight percentage into density of solution into 10 divided by gram molecular weight of solute. Okay, now the given data in 1.6, given data in 1.6, that is we have to find molarity question mark, molarity M is equal to question mark. Next, density of solution D is equal to 1.41 gram per milliliter. So density of solution D is equal to 1.41. Mass percentage, that is nothing but weight percentage, is equal to 69%. Gram molecular weight of HNO3, that is nothing but solute, is equal to HNO3, 1 into 1 is equal to 1 gram. Nitrogen, 1 particle is there, 1 into 14 is equal to 14 grams. Oxygen 3 are there, 3 into 16 is equal to 48 grams. Total 63 grams. Okay, so gram molecular weight of HNO3 is 63 grams. This is the given data, and we have to substitute in the given formula, this formula. Then molarity M is equal to, what is the weight percentage? Value 69 into density of solution 1.41 into 10 divided by gram molecular weight of solute is 63 grams. This is equal to 69 into 1.41 into 10, that is 14.1 divided by 63. Let us see this calculation now. (69) into 14.1 is equal to 972.9 divided by 63. That is 15.44 moles per liter. Answer is capital M is equal to 15.44 moles per liter, because molarity units moles per liter ma. That is the answer for this 1.6. Observe the calculation carefully. I hope you are clear about how we got this formula. Okay, everything neatly it was written ma. Observe and write carefully. This is about 1.6. Next we will see 1.7. Let us observe the first question. How much copper can be obtained from 100 grams of copper sulfate? How much copper can be obtained from 100 grams of copper sulfate? That is nothing but percentage only we have to find. Out of 100 grams of copper sulfate, how much amount of copper is present? That is nothing but how much amount of copper can be obtained. So percentage of copper in copper sulfate we have to find. Okay, ma? Percentage of copper in copper sulfate we have to find. Let us see how we are going to do this one. Before that, once again I am explaining this problem. Out of 100 grams of copper sulfate, how much amount of copper can be obtained? Meaning of that one, in 100 grams of copper sulfate, how much amount of copper will be present? That much amount only now we can obtain. Then we are going to find the percentage of copper only. Okay, first copper sulfate, gram molecular weight of copper sulfate. Is equal to 1 into copper 1 particle is there, 1 into 63.5 gram atomic weight of copper is 63.5 plus sulfur 1 into 32 plus 4 into oxygen 16 gram atomic weight is equal to 63.5 plus 32 plus 64. $159.5 grams. 159.5 grams of copper sulfate. Now I am going to write one sentence, observe carefully. In 159.5 grams of copper sulfate, how much amount of copper is present? 63.5. 63.5 grams of copper is present in 159.5 grams of copper sulfate. Then how much amount of copper is present in 100 grams of copper sulfate? That is the question mark here. These two must be cross multiplied, divided by 159.5. This is equal to 63.5 into 100 divided by 159.5. This is equal to 63.5 into 100, 6350. 6350 divided by 159.5. Let us see this calculation. 6350 divided by 159.5, 39.8 grams of copper is present in 100 grams of copper sulfate. So our final answer is 39.8 grams of copper is obtained from 100 grams of copper sulfate, which is nothing but 39.8% of copper is present in CuSO4. Did you understand 1.7 all of you? We will see next coming problems in next class. Have a nice day. Thank you all.